Now from former Democratic Congressman Charlie Crist, who is now running against Ron DeSantis for Florida governor. And Crist previously served as governor of Florida as a Republican. We do want to note we also requested that Governor DeSantis join us, and we never heard back. So, Congressman, let me ask you, what is your reaction to all of this, to these migrants being flown apparently from Texas to Martha's Vineyard?
John, it's astounding to me. This is so cruel and so unnecessary, so uncalled for, and so brazen. It shocks the conscience of any fair-minded human being that the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, would treat other human beings, these Venezuelans, the way that he did is unbelievable. I mean, you know, what kind of animal would do that to other people? Well, apparently Ron DeSantis is that kind of person. And it's heartbreaking to watch. I mean, children being lured onto these planes with lies to their parents about getting employment when they would land up north somewhere. I guess they mentioned Boston. You know, it's amazing that somebody would go to these lengths, you know, charter a couple planes, send them to San Antonio, Texas, or charter them from there. Lure with lies. Apparently somebody was hired to lure these people onto the planes, that they were going to have a better opportunity by going up north on these planes, and just taking advantage of them for a political stunt.
Congressman?
You know, as I say, who does that?
Congressman,
Governor DeSantis does.
You say they were lured onto the plane with lies. Do you believe that laws were broken here? And I ask that because both the U.S. Attorney in Massachusetts and Nikki Fried, the Florida Agriculture Commissioner who you defeated for the Democratic gubernatorial nomination in Florida, have said they're going to ask the Justice Department to look in and see if there are any laws violated.
Well, I've asked for that myself. You know, I was doing a press conference this morning about this topic and was asked that very question. Should the Department of Justice look into it? I said, absolutely, of course. This is a humane, an inhumane, rather, injustice that's being done to human beings. I mean, is this a way to treat our fellow man and women? Of course not. And, you know, laws may have been broken in the process of this. I'm going to do a Freedom of Information request to the state of Florida, to the governor's office, to find out, you know, jot and tittle, what happened here? You know, who was planning this? How did they plan it? Why did they plan it? But, John, you know, it's just another example of Ron DeSantis wanting to tell everybody what to do, orchestrating everything for a political reason, just like he's done to women in Florida and taking away their right to choose.
And again, just
it's
to be clear,
outrageous.
We're learning that some, if not all, of these migrants were never in Florida. They were in Texas. How do you square that?
Well, I don't square it. I mean, as you said yourself in the intro, he was saying he was going to have, you know, migrants taken out of Florida if he had to, and kind of teased about doing it later on. As you said, these weren't even in Florida. I mean, he had to go halfway across the country to pull off this stunt, and it's unconscionable.
Now,
it's
I understand.
Cruel. The guy's a monster.
I do understand you disagree with the move, and you disagree clearly with the tactics here. But what about the underlying point that Governor DeSantis and others have made, that certain parts of the country, perhaps the Northeast, places like Martha's Vineyard, don't grasp the impact of what they call illegal immigration, and that they don't understand what these border states and border communities are dealing with all the time?
Well, we're not even a border state. That's what's rich about this. You know, we're surrounded by water, and Georgia and Alabama to the north. So the argument doesn't hold up here. And the other point is, he's willing to use human beings to try to make that argument?
I'll say Governor Abbott makes that argument in Texas. What about that argument in general, even if you don't think it's appropriate coming from Governor DeSantis?
I don't think it's appropriate, period. You don't use human beings and children to try to make a political argument or a political statement. You can make all kinds of arguments. The governor has a great bully pulpit. He ought to use that instead. And if people want to help us get rid of him, go to charliecrist.com and help us beat this guy. He's a monster.
The Vice President Kamala Harris had made the statement earlier that she felt the border was secure. Is that something you agree with?
It's hard to tell. I don't think it is secure, and I think it is important to secure the border. Listen, I'm the grandson of immigrants from Greece and from Lebanon. I understand what legal immigration is and what it's supposed to be. We are supposed to be the shining city on the hill, the place where people can come from all over the globe to have safety, to make sure that you can have a better living for your family. Enjoy the capitalism, the compassionate capitalism that is America. That's what we're supposed to stand for. Ronald Reagan used to call us the shining city on the hill. Well, apparently, our governor, DeSantis, doesn't believe in that concept. And it's very disappointing, and it's heartbreaking, and it's cruel.
Charlie, Crist, we do appreciate you being with us tonight. Thank you.